Shirley,
Hi.
it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations.
Thank
There's
you.
one last gift that Ken Smith wanted me to give you. It's this bouquet of flowers here.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you.
Well, I suppose there's probably two because I've got one more here. Here's your keys to your brand new Chevy Cruze.
Thank you so much.
Now, how did you win? I'm curious. How did you enter?
I was playing around on Facebook one night, and on the right-hand corner of the page it said, "Enter to win this Chevy Cruze." So I went on, put all my information in, hit send, and forgot all about it.
And
I didn't even know when they were going to draw. I mean, it was that, you know. So on August 2nd, I got a phone call, and they mentioned Dave Smith Motors, and I was thinking, that name sounds familiar.
Sure.
So I went on to Facebook and looked, and sure enough, it was where I had put in. And I was so excited because I've never won anything like this before.
So you've never been here or nothing, just totally off Facebook?
I've never been in Kellogg before. No, this is the first time.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm so happy.
All right, Shirley, let me get this bow out of the way and we can kind of
Okay.
get started and I'll tell you about the Chevy Cruze here.
Okay.
Do you know anything about it at all by chance?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll start here under the hood. We've got a 1.8 liter Ecotec motor. It's a little 4-cylinder. It's partnered with a 6-speed manual transmission. Should be looking right around 35 miles per gallon on the highway. In town, you're probably going to come in somewhere around 23 to 25. So total altogether, you're probably going to come in around 27 to 28 miles per gallon on average.
Great.
How many miles a year do you normally drive?
Probably 12,000.
About 12,000. So a little under the national average.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We can kind of continue around here. You've got a 16-inch wheel and tire, so that's an upgrade for the segment. Typically around a midsize like this, it's got a standard of a 15-inch wheel and tire. This one will have a 16. So it is a steel wheel with a great little hubcap here.
Good.
Kind of continue around. Get this other bow out of the way here for you, actually. Now this one here has been upgraded with the USB connections package, so you'll have both the USB port, so do you do any listening on music as far as with, do you have an iPod or an iPhone?
Yeah.
Perfect, so you can actually integrate that in with the speaker system of the vehicle. So you can have your music on your iPhone or your MP3 device, you can play that right through your sound system in this.
That's great.
Again, with the Bluetooth, you'll have actually two different phone numbers with this car. You'll have the phone number that's with your personal plan, and I can pair the phone through the Bluetooth of the vehicle. The other thing that I can actually show you how to do is OnStar. That's one of the best things with the GM brand vehicle is OnStar. In this particular segment, what you get is a 6-month trial package of the directions and connections plan. So you can actually talk to a live operator 24 hours a day. It has an emergency theft deterrent system as well, so if your vehicle is stolen, this vehicle can be tracked through OnStar. If you're in an accident, let's say, you know, we're kind of in Idaho here, so let's say a moose runs across the road and for some reason you're either spun off the road or let's say you hit the moose, it'll automatically respond. OnStar, an operator, a live operator, will try to make communication with you, and if you're not responding, EMS will automatically be called and you'll have an ambulance en route. So that's one of the greatest things with GM is that you're safe. You can feel secure in your vehicle.
Great.
Even if you don't have cell phone service, like I said, you've got a secondary phone number. This vehicle has its own phone number through OnStar, and it has the ability to have coverage area in sometimes better than your own cell phone. I don't know who your plan is through, but myself personally going over the pass, traveling back and forth from work and home, I lose cell phone coverage. I personally drive a GM vehicle, and I actually have coverage through my vehicle over the pass, where my cell phone doesn't. So you can always feel safe, you can feel secure, and you know that no matter what, you can make connection to either a family member or a friend or an emergency type situation.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Power windows and locks with this. I mean, as far as this vehicle, they really didn't spare any expense for an entry-level vehicle. It's a 5-star IHS top safety pick. It's been a great seller for General Motors. It's probably been one of their best. Like I said, power windows and locks are all operated here. Now, your locks is actually in the center stack, so it'll be below the operations of both your heating and air conditioning controls and also your radio controls. It'll be underneath there.
Okay.
Power mirrors are both adjusted from here off this knob on the left-hand side of the driver's side. Just a simple click and you'll be back and forth between the two. It does have your seat adjustment is manipulated through the front of the seat here and through the side of the seat here as well. I'll go ahead and open the back door so you can kind of see how much room you actually have for this vehicle. I currently have it all the way back. If you look here, I've got it all the way back. One of the biggest things with the Chevy Cruze is, as in the driver's seat, this has the largest ability as far as movement. You can have it, it'll traverse the most in any segment for us.
That's
so
good, 'cause
you
I
can
have long
actually,
legs.
a guy my size at 6'3", I can still sit comfortably in this vehicle, or someone like yourself, you can move that up to where it's comfortable for you, and I can still actually sit behind you and have more than enough room. So for a mid-sized vehicle like this, as far as a sedan, you still should be able to get 4 or 5 people in this vehicle comfortably and travel.
Great.
One of the other big things with the Chevy Cruze, with its best in class for our segment, is the trunk. So I can show you, just like you've got the front seat, it has the longest glide path in the segment, you've got the largest trunk room in the segment here.
Wow.
So if you look in here, I mean, you head to Costco, you go to Walmart, you can actually fill, I mean, you can get groceries for, you know, several months here and have no problem at all. Now this vehicle does still have a spare, and I can show you how to get there. There's a simple little knob here. I'll have you hold on to that. You can lift up there. You've got your jack right here. Your spare tire is held in place right here. You would unscrew this, and then you could physically take the spare out. The jack is here. You've got one of the jack handles underneath as well. Now, there's one other thing that I wanted to cover here. If you're not comfortable, let's say you're not comfortable changing a spare tire and you don't have AAA, General Motors offers, you know, a very lucrative warranty package. So you have a 3-year, 36,000 mile bumper-to-bumper warranty on this vehicle, meaning it's covered, I mean, as far as the radio, your seat belt. If you have any problems with this vehicle, you take it into your GM dealer and they'll get you taken care of. Now, the powertrain is covered for 5 years and 100,000 miles. Meaning if you have issues with anything that's involved with the transfer or application of power, you're covered there. With that 5-year 100,000 also comes your courtesy transportation and roadside assistance. So let's kind of relive that situation with the Moose. Let's say you dodge the Moose, but you blow out a tire. And it's dark, it's wet, it's raining, it's snowing. You can't physically get out and change that tire. Well, you can contact OnStar, and General Motors, free of cost to you as part of their warranty package, gives you that 5-year 100,000 mile roadside assistance. Let's say they get the roadside assistance out there, they're having trouble getting the spare tire in situation, you've got courtesy transportation. So they come, they tow your vehicle, they get you to the nearest GM dealer, you've got yourself a vehicle that you can operate and drive free of cost from General Motors. So,
like my own guardian angel.
Exactly. So you factor in the warranty protections with the GM vehicle in conjunction with OnStar, you've got 100,000 miles of driving experience without any worries whatsoever.
That's terrific.
So if you want, I'll actually open this door up here for you. And if you want to have a seat, I can actually get in the other side here and I'll kind of show you how to operate the heating controls as well as some of the radio buttons, which I know can get kind of frustrating for some people.
Okay.
Okay, now that we're inside, I'll go ahead and put the key in here and put it into the on position. And I'll start with the center stack. Okay. This can tend to be some of the more troublesome controls from time to time. And if it's a new vehicle for you, which I know it is, let's start with the radio. Your power button is here. Again, it stands both as the power button as well as volume control. So you can change your volume from actually 2 different places in the Chevy Cruze. In this particular Cruze, like I talked about, it has that USB connections package that's been added to it. So that also comes with steering wheel mounted audio control. So you can be watching the road, driving the vehicle as you normally would, and if a song comes on the radio that you want to hear, it's from this icon here. You have a plus and a minus with a speaker. That's your volume control. So you can physically turn the radio up or back down if you need to hold a conversation with another passenger that you're with. Again, you can also, with this package, change the source. So you can toggle through a series of different favorites, as well as from what type of radio you want to listen to. With this package, similar to OnStar, you do get a 3-month trial to XM radio. So you do have satellite radio here.
Oh, okay.
Again, just like standard, you've got an FM and AM station. Now, just like I said before with your USB, you would simply toggle this over to the auxiliary input device, and you can actually physically listen to music on your phone or on any MP3 device.
Okay.
If you need to get to a main menu at any time on a GM center stack in this Chevy Cruze, it's the config icon. So you go ahead and press the config icon. Your menu and select button has a rotary knob, just like the power. You could toggle through here, and you can change personalized settings from both anything from language all the way down to radio, phone, and vehicle settings. So maybe if you want to go ahead and try this button and toggle it up to radio settings, select that, and we'll make a couple changes. Go ahead and press the menu button there. Let's start with, let's scroll down to radio favorites. Hit the center button there. And then this will show you the number of pages that you have. You can go ahead and scroll down there. You've got 1, 2, 3. Continue down. You've actually got up to 6 pages of favorites, and that's going to combine all different audio sources. So you can have favorites stored in the vehicle from both FM, AM, and XM stations. So you can literally, at the touch of a fingertip, you can go from an XM radio station listening to your country music to your local radio station for another giveaway, because Lord knows you've got enough luck. I hope you enter another one.
Yes, that's awesome.
Okay, if you need to change the clock, very easy in this. A lot of times manufacturers have gotten away from, changing, time.
I always have a hard time changing the clock.
Very, very easy in this one. It's the simple button here, right above your favorites and information. Press the clock. You can physically change it at the touch of a fingertip. And again, just the button I had you with the radio. It's with this rotary dial and your menu/select button. So if we need to go up here, you can go set time. You can physically go in and toggle through and change it to the exact time and date. And again, it's just a simple push of the select button and you're set. Now I noticed that you said your son was in the Marine Corps. Is that correct?
My son is in the Marine Corps, yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, he's retired.
Okay.
But,
if he happens to get in the vehicle and he's used to a 24-hour type format, we can toggle down here and we can actually change to a 24-hour format, so he can look at the clock and it'll say 1,400 hours and be a little bit more, if he happens to be driving the vehicle. Again, I'll show you favorites. I'll tie this into favorites. We'll go 2 icons down. We'll press favorite, and we can get back to our radio station here. We can go to your favorites page, and this will show you your presets. Again, I said 6 pages. If we want to store, we can push and hold a button, and that'll, now you've saved this radio station, and it'll show here's your new station to number 1. And if you ever need to get back there, it's a simple push of a button. You're right back to your favorite radio stations.
That's really cool.
If you like to customize the type of music you're listening to, we can physically go in and adjust that, your treble, your bass. I don't know what kind of music do you normally listen to? Kind of a wide array, or?
Yeah, I like country music. I like a little easy listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you want the music to kind of stand out a little bit more, again, with the same icon here, we can physically go in and we can actually make adjustments to any feature that you want. If you want to bring out a little bit more of the mid, if you want to add a little more treble to it, or if you're listening to a song that's got a lot of bass to it, you can actually increase your bass, and it really brings out the performance of this vehicle's audio system. For a base model vehicle, you've actually got a wonderful sound system. So you can have your easy listening set, you can go back to country music, and again, all at the touch of a fingertip.
That's really cool.
Now if you look here, you've got your CD player, which is right below all of these icons of the center stack. Very simple, very easy to operate. It's simple input, and then here's your eject button here. One of the things with the Cruze is it's designed to be simple. There's not too many buttons, it's not too busy, it's very easy to navigate. Everything is very natural for you. If we continue on down, I'll go ahead and shut the radio off. I can show you how to operate some of the controls for the heating and air conditioning. Again, very, very simple. 2 major knobs on either side, pretty self-explanatory. You've got hot and cold here, and you can toggle through. You've got the illuminated icon, that's basically your arrow, so that'll let you know where you're at. All the way to the left on this side is off, yep. And you'll also show you here fan speed. So you can watch as you change the fan speed here where your radio shows, it'll actually show you how fast the fan is going, where you currently have it, and if it's either fresh air or if it's recirculating. So let's make a few other changes. Let's say it's extremely cold outside. Well, let's turn the heat up, and then we can obviously adjust the fan as you wish. And if you look on the center stack here, let's change the direction. Let's defrost the windshield and your feet are cold. Push that button. You can actually, instead of having to look around down here and take your eyes off the road, you can make a simple scan to your radio, and you can make sure that you've made your proper selection.
That's really, I've never had anything like this before. This is really, everything's so easy.
Yep. Your unlock and lock button, it's in a little bit different of a location. Some of these tend to have your lock and unlock on your left-hand side. They put it underneath the center stack. It's same in the Chevy Cruiser and the Equinox, maybe even the GMC Terrains. Your lock and unlock icon is a part of the center stack. It's all one unit, as well as your emergency flashing icons. So if you need to lock or unlock the vehicle, it's all done from right here on the center stack. There's one other feature as part of the interior that I wanted to go over. It's how to get your shifting lever into reverse. This is one that can be kind of tricky for some people. It's a very simple short throw shifter that's going to go through all 6 gears. If you need to get the vehicle into reverse, do you see this small feature here right below the knob?
Yes.
That actually is able to be lifted up. If you need to get this into reverse, you would simply pull this up to where it contacts the shift lever, pull it all the way over, and then you go up, and that's what puts you in reverse. So if you need to get into reverse, it's essentially a safety feature.
Safety, so you don't, yeah.
Exactly. It prevents you from, as you're trying to get into first, to get out of the parking lot or to start from a stop sign, it keeps you from going and accidentally putting it in reverse and getting into an accident. It physically forces you to pull up on that and actually then put it into reverse.
That's great.
I'll go ahead and move from there into your instrument cluster. With your instrument cluster, very basic. It ties in your standard features as well as to kind of a new feature for General Motors. So you've got your tack on the left-hand side, which will have a series of icons that'll illuminate your seatbelt sign. That'll be where your parking brake sign shows up. It'll also have a check engine light if for some reason that does occur. On your right-hand side there, that'll give you your basic 140 mile an hour speedometer. Now, if you do happen to take this to Canada and you're out of the country, you do also have a kilometers per hour underneath there.
Oh, yeah.
Engine temperature and fuel, very easy. They're right in your center line of view. They want to make sure that you can look to ascertain if you are running low on fuel. Again, it'll show your fuel light will come on just as any other vehicle, but it's right in your direct line of sight. Now, the new feature for them is the center piece here. So it, again, to kind of tie into how simple and how large the lettering is and how it stands out to the eye, you don't have to search to see how fast you're going. It's heads up. It's right there. You can physically set your cruise control and continue on down, and then you can look at the feature here and it'll tell you exactly how fast you're going.
That's really cool.
And if you need to toggle through that, on the left-hand side of the steering wheel here, where your lighting control features will be for the brights, you have a menu button, and that'll be what allows you to toggle through, and you can check your trip and fuel information, and then you can also toggle through and customize the vehicle based on features that you wish. As far as, again, I'll show you here, this will be what you take it in for service. That'll be how they reset your oil life, but this has an oil life monitoring system. So when this vehicle gets down closer to 20%, that means it's due for service and you'll have to have your oil changed. Again, it'll also have a tire pressure monitoring system. They're all currently set to 34 PSI, all part of the features to make sure this vehicle gets 35 miles per gallon on the highway for you.
Great.
This vehicle does have 2 additional safety features that come with it as part of the driving package. I noticed you saw this button here, which has a vehicle with 2 small squiggle lines below that and an off button. That's for your traction control feature. this vehicle does have both stability control and traction control. What that does is ensure that if a wheel does lose traction, it'll fire your anti-lock braking system, and that'll make sure that it slows the wheel from losing traction down just enough to where it can regain traction, and it'll make sure that you continue in the path that you want to go and you don't spin out and lose control. So this vehicle is designed to keep you on the road as safely as humanly possible.
One question I always had was, why would you turn it off?
It's a mandatory requirement. You have to have an off button. So that there
okay.
always has to be an off. If it's on, there needs to be an ability to shut it off.
Oh, okay.
One of the other reasons is if you've got somebody who likes to drive a vehicle very sporty, because this, I mean, with the design of the vehicle, especially if you look at the front, it is a very sporty sedan. So a lot of times people like to drive this a little aggressively. You can turn that traction control off, and that won't limit your power application.
Oh.
So you can drive this vehicle, you can cruise along with it, and then if you do choose to actually drive this through corners a little harder, or if you want to drive it a little more sporty, you can turn your traction control off, and you can go right through the gears, and it won't limit you whatsoever.
I'm a grandma. I don't need to turn that
Then
off.
I'd buckle up your seatbelts and I'd leave that on. I wouldn't even have to worry about it. The last feature that I want to go over with you, which is an addition to this, is Bluetooth for your phone. Have you ever had an opportunity? Have you paired your phone to any other vehicle?
No, I haven't.
Okay. There's two ways you can get there. Again, through the center stack, or you can push this icon here, and that'll actually give you, you see the face with the three small lines there in the phone? Mm-hmm. That's for voice recognition, and the phone above it means it's for voice recognition for Bluetooth. But for the sake of sakes, let's go ahead and go in through here. We can hit the config button. Again, we can toggle down, get to phone settings, push select. Again, within phone settings, it only gives us one option, that's Bluetooth. So we'll select that again. Now we've got a series here where we can look down and it'll say your device list. So that'll show you all phones that are paired to the vehicle. Again, this vehicle will hold 5 cell phones.
Oh, good.
So you can have your phone paired to it, your husband's phone, your son, your daughter, any other family member who's going to be operating the vehicle, and you can store them in order of importance.
I'm first.
There you go. Before you leave today, I'll actually have your cell phone, and I'll pair your device to the vehicle.
Okay, great.
And I'll make sure that you're in at number 1. To do so, we would come down and we can pair your phone through this feature.
Please start a search on your Bluetooth phone.
That's this code that it's now given you. The vehicle is now ready to accept a
Once the search is complete, select your vehicle on your phone and then enter the code 3306. Again, the code is 3306.
And as you can hear, the system is very, very operator friendly. So what you have is a system that is very easy to operate. It walks you through it. It's clear. It's very simple. Is that something that you think that, let's say for some reason, you get yourself a new cell phone device? I know most plans typically have you upgrade every 2 years.
Yes.
Does that seem something that's very simple and easy to operate?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
You would simply just enter that code in, and your phone then communicates with the vehicle, and now you can leave that cell phone in your pocket, you can leave that cell phone in your purse, and you don't have to worry about causing any accidents. Or I know some of the laws have changed now to where in certain states you can't even use your cell phone without some form of a Bluetooth device.
That's great. This is so good. I mean, this is awesome. I've bought brand new cars before, but I've never actually had somebody go through it like they usually hand you the owner's manual and say, here you go, drive it off. So I really appreciate that you've gone through everything with me, and so I don't have to worry about, I've bought cars before and drove down the road going, how do I turn the wipers on? And it starts raining, and so I really appreciate everything that you've told me today.
Absolutely, you're very welcome. That's one thing that we really pride ourselves in here, is that we do a lot of business and we have several customers, as we are so large, but the biggest thing for us is customer service. I am responsible for you, and I want to make sure that as you drive down the road, it's easy for you to operate the vehicle, and it doesn't cause any issues or trouble with you whatsoever. But if for some reason you do have questions, I did give you my business card.
I haven't yet.
Just give me a holler anytime,
Okay.
rain or shine.
And I see I can turn the passenger airbag off if I have a small child or somebody in here,
Absolutely,
yeah.
correct. Yep. Again,
Although
very
they're not supposed to ride in front
front.
anyway. So. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, like I said, emergency flashers here. Very large buttons, very easy to see. Your eye catches very, very, very easily to everything, and point and click, basically.
Yes, it's going to be so easy to drive.
Any other questions?
I don't think so. If I have any, I have your phone number. I think you've gone over everything.
Okay, well, let's get you on the road. Again, I appreciate your time, and I hope I covered every feature on the vehicle here for you.
You absolutely did.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, again, congratulations.
Thank
you
you
very much. You know, let me give you a hug.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
It's the best thing that ever happened to me. Well, besides my kids.